We're live. Don't knock anything over.
Yeah, I know. That would be my luck. Like, we wouldn't have any technical difficulties this time. I'd fucking literally run into something and break it.
Which would be fantastic.
Light would shatter on Toro's face. He's bleeding everywhere.
What?
That'd be fantastic.
Might be an improvement based on my current status. Yeah.
Pothead. So, welcome back to another Last Call podcast. My name is Mikey T. I'm joined as always by Tristan through the power of the internet.
Lies.
Live.
I'm not actually here. I am a digital recreation.
It's like Max Headroom, but even more low budget.
Way more boring. It's like Max Headroom, except I'm a guy in a basement in Ohio.
That does sound so much more sad. On that note of sadness, a piece of shit Toro has joined us again.
Jesus
Thank you very
Christ.
much for stopping.
Is that like his official title? Like,
at this point, I might as well just put it on my driver's license and shit.
you have a fucking license plate bracket?
Yeah.
I mean,
get a custom one a while back, but yeah.
You should get FU Toro. Yeah. Would they let that?
I tried. I tried different variations like Fu Toro, like then they were like, nah, we can't have
even
it.
If you mash it all together, it won't work.
No, I was gonna do it backwards, but then she caught on what I was doing. And I was like,
who caught?
The DMV lady wanted to get my custom plates and shit.
Just do it online.
Oh no, that's you have to approve it manually.
Yeah, I think there's still somebody who looks at it. Yeah.
That way nothing slides in that shouldn't be on there. I went through this whole process. I went through like a 4-day process trying to get this shit approved.
Can you imagine that job of like looking at all of the license plates that people like
missions and
put
shit
through, just trying to slip some shit through the system? Like all the different ways you'd have to think of in your head that you could spell pussy with different letters and numbers.
It's got to be so bad too, because you figure at least 70% of the people that get vanity plates are absolute douchebags.
I'm one of them.
So I have no problem with vanity plates. I've thought about doing it forever, but I mean, I'm a douchebag, but that's beside the point. But most of it's like the guy in the semi-fast car that says it's like too fast for you. Like, oh,
you're that
kill yourself.
Out fucking like Kia. So just like that's what I've been seeing a lot of recently.
There's nothing wrong with a Kia.
So no, like we're talking like this, like the ones that look like tiny or smaller Corollas that are just shit vehicles in general. I don't know what model it is, but yeah, I see more of those getting tricked out by people with like rims, spinners, and fucking spoilers in the back. It's just
shit's cheap these days, man. Cheap Chinese labor has meant everybody can have spinners and graphics and wings and custom hood scoops. Like you just have that shit built in China. Like who gives a fuck?
Thanks, HP Racing.
Yeah, well, the HP was even before that. Like HP was like right before the dawn of like what we used to call AutoZone fast. Like those guys who just had like 40 fireballs down the side of their Corolla. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever notice they're usually backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like you're just
retarded.
Reversing very quickly. Wow. What is that?
I think they fucked up when they were putting the decals on. And they're like, oh fuck, I didn't realize.
I always felt really weird. I get like not having money. I get like wanting to be into cars and like customizing your car and trying to do something cool. But I don't have that much money. But I never got the instinct of the guy who's like in AutoZone and he's like, I really want to check out my ride, but I have $13. So give me every one of those fireball stickers you have, and I'm going to put it down the side of the car.
Stick on chrome. Fucking sides of Corollas and shit. The community is not doing it any justice. God,
that's the worst when they like outline every door.
That and put on with a stick-on chrome fucking intakes on the hood, and they it's off center.
The faux hood scoops, where they're just like plastered on there.
It's ridiculous at this point.
I am susceptible to that kind of thing though. Like I do the kind of thing that you see people like that do, where you're like, you know what I want? I want to get my windows tinted, but that costs $200. So I don't have $200. I have $38. but I can go to Walmart and do it myself. How hard can it be? And then 5 days and $140 worth of tint from Walmart later, you have the world's shittiest tint job that now can't be removed because it's adhered to your windows forever. I've done 100 projects like that, so I do kind of feel bad for those guys.
I was just the guy that I actually had a Corolla, and then I bought a.
I've seen her talking mad shit about it.
I bought 17-inch rims to put on it, and it looks fucking awesome. But it's like that car was like 140 horsepower. Like
right.
That it was not moving those 17.
What size were the original rims? Like 12 inches?
Yeah, or something. I don't even know if back then they had like alloy wheels you could get. Not from the factory anyway.
I had a Honda CRX that was my first real car, and I loved that thing to death. And at one point, I bought a set of 17-inch OZ rims. For that thing, I literally had a $2,100 set of rims on a $2,300 car.
Woo, flying in under the bar, man.
That ratio is, under the bar, but still totally 100% fucked. If that car got stolen, I'd be like, God damn it, my wheels.
that was some Pasadena shit right there. There you are, sir. What are you thinking, Jameson or tequila?
Oh, I thought you handed him a bowl. I was like, shit, things have changed in the Mikey household.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That'll fly very well.
Just the way he reflected, I was like, whoa, shit, Mikey's just fucking smoking weed in the basement now with kids upstairs.
Like,
who am I to judge?
I love the medicinal field, man. Just looking to a job. It's great.
Yeah, Toro now works at a I don't know, like a crack house or something. So. There you go.
Do you work at a dispensary?
Yeah, I work with the pro team and I trim the weed.
I almost did what I did to Chris or not Chris to Steve Miller, and poured like the baby shot. So
wait,
I was like,
let's drink this because I need more alcohol, and then I want to talk about this dispensary thing because that sounds rad as shit. To Toro, welcome back
to Taco Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesdays, indeed.
Thank you for having me, fellas.
Yeah, you piece of shit. Cheers.
So you work for a dispensary?
Yep.
Trimming.
I work for the company called Verano.
And you physically trim the weed?
Yep. I help the grow team out when they need it, growing the plants, and when it's ready for harvest, I actually go ahead and trim it down, send it up to packaging, and then depending on their need upstairs, I also do the packaging as well. So
like a good old Mexican.
Yep.
I've heard grow. Well, that's racist as shit, but okay.
That's
story of my life.
I've heard weed is kind of a robust plant. Like I've heard growing it isn't that difficult. Like, is that true? Like if they set you off into the world, like if you didn't work there anymore, but like you got some seeds, like do you think you could successfully grow marijuana like pretty easily?
Based on I did work as for a nursery, an actual growing nursery out of Sykesville. So I knew a little bit about plants and how they the whole process and how to grow them properly and the chemicals and stuff that they use back when I was 15. So that fairly transitioned easily into this one.
They get you started in yard work early, huh?
I know they did. Yeah, I started when I was 13.
Yeah.
13. But yeah, basically what ended up happening is I noticed there was a lot of similarities between the way that things were done over there and then things were done in a more controlled environment, considering everything we have there is indoors. And so it's just they use a little bit different chemicals, but essentially the same process.
Do they do like hydroponics and all that shit, or
they do a variation of it? They do a couple different things there. They're testing out. It's still technically less than a year and a half old since the company's been open there at that specific location. So they're still testing out, trying to refine their whole process. But what they got going on now is working great. We're pushing out, I don't know,
pushing weight.
Oh yeah, we have so much stuff, and we have a room that's dedicated to it, and it's like walking in and staring at the face of God whenever you walk in there. It's crazy.
So
what? Dave Chappelle in Half Baked.
Yes, it's essentially just like that, walking into the medical, and then to the fucking hospital room.
So I've been out of town for a little while now. What exactly are the rules in Maryland at this point? Are you at like decriminalization? Is it like what can you do?
It is
Pretty much the
decriminalized.
well, it's like the Wild West right now, pretty much.
It's decriminalized from what I understand, but they still can get you for like not the weed itself, but like the stuff they use to smoke weed out of, which is kind of stupid.
But the dispensaries are servicing medical clients only at the moment.
Medical clients right now. You have to have a medical card and be over 21 to do it. You have to go through like a screening process and everything.
Okay.
I got mine about a month after I started working there, so it's I've had knee injuries and like shoulder problems. So it just makes it it made
like
for me
knee injuries and shoulder problems. Is that like is it like that? I mean, I'm not saying you don't have problems. I'm just saying if I went in there and I was like, "Oh, my fucking knee hurts," they'd be like, "Here's your card," like it is in California, or is it like
you get a medical card if you say you have a chronic headache? That's simple.
So like a doctor that's on site at the dispensary, or do I have to like bring in like a doctor's note?
There are certain doctors in the area. I mean, the doctor that I went to was out of Joppa, only because they have to actually pay a fee to get registered, and you pay the doctor to do that. And there was the cheapest one around. At the time, I had zero money because I was out of work for 4 months. So
you went to the doctor. You went to the doctor, and you're like, "My fucking knee hurts all the time." And he's like, "Well,
which
you're
is true. I mean, I've always had knee problems since fucking high school when I hurt myself. But it was a really easy process. The doctor just called to confirm with my regular doctor that everything I was saying was true and validated. Had the documentation, everything already there. And they're like, okay.
Oh, so he did make a call. You couldn't just go in there and just be like, "Hey, bro, my knee hurts."
They do check with the original doctor.
That phone's not plugged in. He picks up and he's like, "Hey, is everything on the up and up?"
I mean, the building was allegedly under construction, so when I walked in there, so it just looked kind of weird.
It's like some guy's basement.
It felt like it was the guy was essentially it was actually a dentist, which is kind of funny. He was a dentist, but he was approved to sign off on medical marijuana.
Okay.
Mom, this guy's here for weed.
Can we get some meatloaf? I went to my dentist today. He didn't offer me weed or anything.
Man, I made a mistake. I was in Denver maybe a month ago now, and like it's fucking
that is a mistake.
No, Denver was awesome. Like Colorado in general was tons of fun, but like it is super weird to drive around Denver and just see all of these like neon weed signs everywhere. Like just come in and just buy whatever you want. Like I looked online at what that process was like. I didn't actually end up going through with it. I wish I had at this point, but it is such a weird, like they're just around like liquor stores. Like you just go in and you just buy weed. But the rules are weird too. Like you can't smoke it outside anywhere. It's real bizarre.
Yes, that's
yeah. I mean, the same rules apply here. There's a lot of restrictions and stuff with the medical card. So you can't smoke out in your car. You can't smoke out in public. Obviously, it has to be at your home. You can't be carrying your stuff with you in the vehicle. Well, both the paraphernalia and the weed in the same vehicle. There's a lot of other restrictions, but those are the only ones that I thought were fucking retarded.
So saying you went to pick up your stuff from the dispensary, you'd have to leave your paraphernalia at home, right?
I mean, yeah, as long as you don't take a pipe with you, you're fine.
Yeah, or you said, I guess the paraphernalia is like sort of gray area to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, unless you make a big deal out of it, or you're so fucked up to the point where you can't speak properly. I mean, then at that point, the cop can be like, okay, I'm gonna get you for this, and this.
So I have a theory that it's not so much weed that affects people's brains. Mm-hmm. It's weed culture.
Yes. So, I've become a reggae head. Not even
both.
So it's listened to so much reggae in the past 2 months. So
I think it is absolutely possible to smoke weed, to smoke a lot of weed, and function normally in society. However, if you embrace that stoner lifestyle, you just slowly pick up those mannerisms,
the laziness.
Yeah, and like you're just outwardly a piece of shit. And I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with the drug directly.
It's more of a psychological thing at that point.
Yeah, it's because all the stoner are like, wow, man, like, fuck.
If you ever see me slacking, you have all the right to just punch me in the face. Okay.
Punch him right now.
You know all I do. I DJ, I do the photography thing, I work fucking 40, 50 hours a week on top of that. And then, yeah, if you ever see me slow down in those aspects, then, yeah, by all means, punch me.
I can't wait to punch you in the fucking face.
He's just going to find an excuse to do it for no reason. You're slacking. Bah!
Yeah. It's like, do you feel like doing this? Nah. Bah!
Fucking mid taco. Just
You're going to the gym today? No.
Counts. So I you know, I used to smoke weed, but I haven't in a long time, and it's like all the legalization. I'm like, I find it really interesting seeing the debate back and forth. I think it should be legal completely. If it was legal, I would probably choose to smoke over drinking, even though I love drinking.
It's a shit ton cheaper. I'll be honest.
It's
oh my god.
And there's no calories in it.
Well, yeah, there's that. You might get cancer or something, but
you're gonna get cancer either way, so you might as well just pick your poison.
Yeah, I think they should allow it. It needs to at least be freed up more. It certainly shouldn't be. What schedule is it?
Schedule 1.
Schedule 1, yeah. So it's the same as like
it's like fucking heroin.
Is it Schedule 1?
But like I think it is
Federally.
But I think is it meth is not Schedule 1? I think meth is the one, or maybe it's coke. I don't know. One of the other really bad ones, which no one would ever argue is easier for you than marijuana, is rated lower than
Schedule 2 drugs: cocaine, methamphetamine,
so both
methadone, hydromorphone, meperidine, oxycodone, fentanyl.
Fentanyl, that's the one that's killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. All the ones manufactured by drug companies aren't Schedule 1. Who fucking knew?
So is
Schedule 1,
marijuana?
It's narcotics such as heroin, LSD, and cocaine and marijuana.
Wait, was cocaine in both?
I know, it's so stupid. And this is off of the fucking FDA site.
God.
I think there's no argument for the prohibition of marijuana that doesn't fall apart when compared to alcohol.
Yeah, here we go. There's a better one. Heroin, marijuana, ecstasy, peyote. That's the cactus, right?
Yeah,
one of these things just doesn't belong here.
Qualone.
I don't know what that is.
Fuck that is.
Quaaludes?
Yes.
Are those still a thing?
No, they stopped making them.
I don't even know what they are. I just know I remember hearing about them from, what was that calculator game? Drug Wars or something.
There's a great did you see Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
There's a great Quaalude scene in there. It's fantastic. When he gets all like fucked up and he drives.
Oh, and he can't move? He's like dragging himself to the car, right?
Yeah. It's because he finds a Quaalude that's like a decade old.
All right, here's the definition of Schedule 1. Schedule 1 drugs, substances, or chemicals are defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. And that's where we get that. Schedule 2.
How did that ever make it to?
This one here is Schedule 2 means high potential for abuse with potentially leading to severe psychological or physical dependence. These drugs are also considered dangerous. And that's when it goes into like the Vicodin, cocaine, methamphetamine, methadone, hydromorphone, oxycodone, dextrine, Adderall, and Ritalin.
See, I thought we were on like a path towards like national legalization and like, you know, Colorado, even Maryland in some ways, like leading the way. Like I thought we were getting away from prohibition.
That's a lot of fucking schedules.
I'd say a decade, maybe.
No, see, I think it's interesting. We'll talk to Jay when he's here maybe next week. He's been posting some stuff recently and I've started reading up on it a little bit. Like the pharmaceutical companies are coming up with synthetic versions of THC. And I think that's going to slow down the actual legalization of legit marijuana. Like, because I mean, they funnel tons of money into the government. Like, I think we may see backpedaling, which is super depressing. Like,
but
just
the thing is that those places that are manufacturing this artificial THC had to start somewhere, and that's where our company in particular, like,
get up on that dick.
we actually end up doing the concentrations and all like the specific stuff. We're working towards like the edible market. We're working towards that. It's not technically called edibles, but
right. But they're gonna lean on companies like yours until they no longer need you, and then they're going to kick you to the curb via legislation.
I mean, but speaking of, like, most people hate the idea of, like, if they're smoking weed, they've adopted the whole idea of putting only natural things in your body, kind of thing. You know, that's the whole mentality behind why you smoke weed. And then at the same time, you know, putting other artificial shit in it. Who knows what it's going to do? Who knows what it's going to do in the long run versus something that's been used.
I'm fucking with you, man. But as a guy who's 35 years old and lives a boring suburban lifestyle, if I can, like, I can't buy weed at 7-Eleven, but if I can buy cannabizone from the 7-Eleven and get high that way in a what's that?
You might want to trademark that right now.
It's too late. That just went out live on YouTube, right? Like some interns already been like, cannabizone filed for patent.
Yep.
But no, like that's where I'm gonna go. Like if that's what I can get and I can't get regular weed, then that's what I'm gonna buy, which is fucking unfortunate. And that's not what I want. But I just think that's how the world works. Did you just try and pour a drink with a cap on?
I did.
And it's
as somebody who literally fucking pours drinks for a living.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
Like fucking step one, remove the cap from the bottle.
Do you remember that being a step at the bar?
Do you need like a step one, remove the cap from the bottle. Step two, do not pour the liquid contents all over the floor. Step three, stop pouring before the liquid overflows the container that you're pouring it into.
Or enjoy.
And step five, repeat.
Yes. Always repeat.
God, there's so many fucking dipshits at the bar.
Speaking of people who wish they had access to weed for longer, Bill Cosby sentenced to 3 to 5 years at a federal pounding in the ass prison.
That segue though.
So he got 3 to 5 years.
He's going to do at least 3. I think he's got to do at least 3. I think it's 3 to 15 or some weird number like that. Like minimum 3.
Parole starts at like year 5 or some shit.
Yeah. So he's legit going to jail for some length of time. They know what jail he's going into. I read an article earlier. It's like a brand new jail. It's supposed to be super, super nice. But
it's gonna be like a Holiday Inn with
like
bars.
A rehab clinic.
No. This jail houses like 3,000 inmates.
He's like,
and the bopping and the jello pudding.
Yeah, this isn't
40 put it in my poo hole.
This isn't 40 guys on work release. Like this is like a legit like jail for profit jail.
Oh, he's so getting roofied.
I think he's gonna hang himself before he goes. Like I don't think there's any chance he goes to jail. Do you?
Well, I mean, what is he like? 80, 85?
I was gonna ask you that. I know he's in his 80s. I don't know how late into his. I don't think he's not 90.
Yeah, I think he's in his 80s. I don't know.
Hey Siri, how old is Bill Cosby?
81 years old.
Bill Cosby is 81.
You're right.
Born in 1937. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you made a fucking mistake, didn't you? Enjoy fucking federal prison at 81 years old.
Well, you didn't think he made a mistake for 50 years.
That's true.
He's like, yeah, man, dodge that bullet. Nope.
God, that's gotta suck dick. Like you know you're gonna die in jail. Like I guess. I mean, maybe he's not gonna die in jail. Maybe not. I don't fucking know. But
I mean,
it doesn't seem that well to me. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say he's not the healthiest looking individual.
Yeah, he's got like one like weird like it's not a glass eye, but it definitely looks like kind of fucked up. Like I don't know.
Yeah, isn't he like blind in one eye?
I don't know. Like
Like
Quaaludes will do that.
Maybe he runs. That'd be awesome if fucking Bill Cosby went on the run. There was a national manhunt for 81-year-old Bill Cosby. That would be amazing.
End up arresting Kenan Thompson by accident.
Like
you see, it's not me.
Like 3 times over the course of a year. He gets shot.
Crazy times we live in.
Kenan Thompson beaten within an inch of his life by police again. As the manhunt for Bill Cosby enters its 11th month.
It's like, guys, I'm still not Bill Cosby. They're like, shut up, Bill.
I mean, Bill's gonna have so much money. Somebody brought it up the other day, and I know we touched this argument.
He's got that ghost dad money
Fairly frequently. Somebody brought up the other day, I was listening to the radio, I think that like the Bill Cosby show will never be on the air again. Like nobody's ever going to air that. And I got like kind of sad. Like I enjoyed the Bill Cosby show when I was younger. One of my favorite television scenes of all time is Bill Cosby explaining budgets to Theo using Monopoly money and just snatching the bills out of his hand.
I don't remember that. But that sounds
like he's like, Dad, how come I can't spend this money? You know, how come we can't buy this thing? And he hands him $500 in Monopoly money. And he's like, so when you grow up, you make, $500 a paycheck. Are you going to live somewhere? He's like, yeah. And he snatches a couple $100 out of his hand. And he's like, are you going to drive a car? He's like, yeah. He takes another $100. He's like, and then there's power, and then there's television, and then there's all these things you got to pay for. And Theo looks down in his hand. He's like, you know what? I still got $50 left. And he says, you gonna have a girlfriend? He says, yeah. And he snatches the last $50 out of his hand. And his hands are empty. It's like a fucking brilliant 30 seconds of television. And now it's never going to air again because he raped like 100 women. And I can't rectify that in my head.
Yeah, that's hard to wrap your head around when like what is essentially a childhood hero, you find out molested way too many women. Not that there's a limit. Like it's like, oh, one, oh, that's fine.
I mean, I definitely draw a distinction between like Chris Hardwick, right? Who like clearly was kind of an asshole, but like had one ex-girlfriend come out and say like he was a total asshole during the time they were dating. And Bill Cosby, who clearly had an extended history of drugging and raping women. Like there's a continuum here, right? But like Cosby, enjoying the Cosby Show is problematic now, as opposed to like, who was it? Maynard, right? Maynard James Keenan. Like he had an accuser a while ago. Like, do you stop listening to Tool albums? I don't fucking know what to do anymore.
That's the guy going up for the Supreme Court justice thing, right?
Oh, Brett Kavanaugh.
It's like the lead singer of Tool.
Yeah. No, it's been all over the place with that guy. Like, I mean, I get it. It's not a good thing that everybody like went through with like what they did back then when they were younger. Made some stupid ass decisions. It happens. But I believe in the whole statute of limitations where if it's been 50 years and all of a sudden you're coming to money and all these people come out of nowhere, that's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that whole situation's a muddy mess, just like everything else in politics. But
at no point is it okay for a guy to do that. I understand that, and I respect a woman's privacy and everything about them. But at the same time, you got, if something happened, take care of it then. Don't wait 50 fucking years. Like what's that gonna put you at ease? What have you been doing for the past 50 years? Like, it's retarded.
At least in her case, a lot of therapy. So I don't think it's one of the ones where like, so Stormy Daniels clearly popped out of the woodwork for money.
Oh yeah.
But she's not saying she was raped.
No, but
she's just saying she fucked the guy. Like that's different.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying the whole people are saying like it's a money grab or something like that. I don't know what. I mean, she's a doctor, right? Dr. Ford, I think. So she's.
Oh, the new lady. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Not,
I was like, wait a
not
second,
Stormy Daniels.
Like,
Stormy Daniels is not a doctor. She's
Yeah.
probably played a doctor on small films.
Yeah, Dr. Ford, who accused Kavanaugh.
Low budget films.
But it doesn't make sense that she would come out just for that reason. So whatever, there's probably some political push there that maybe sent her over the edge to do it, but you know, everyone's like, oh, she's just, you know, trying to get him because he's famous.
And put it in perspective. Like, I mean, it's the president of the United States. Someone's going to go down in history as one of our, you know, presidents. But you know, associate yourself with it. That way, you ride that wave too. I mean, it's clearly the only thing. That's the only financial, you know, gain was the only reason that she ended up doing this.
You know what kind of people don't care if women get raped? People who don't tip their waiters and waitresses well.
So that's a fair.
Speaking
that
of
post
which,
earlier, I'm assuming.
there's been a post that has been making the rounds on Facebook, mostly because we know a lot of waiters, waitresses, and bartenders, of a board posted in a restaurant. I don't have the photo in front of me, so I don't know the name of the restaurant. It's called like Pappy's or
I think it's Patty's.
Patty's or something.
Patty's.
Yeah, like
Patty's Pub that has a board of shame that lists the name, tab amount, and tip amount of their 3 to 5 most famous under tippers. Some of those are zero. Some of them are, you know, a few dollars here and there.
On like $500-$600 checks. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Right. Basically zero checks. So this is a public shaming of people who have essentially skipped out on tipping their waiters and waitresses. In the social media world, many people we know have come out obviously in favor of this idea. And in every case where somebody posts this, the people come out of the woodwork defending this behavior. As two people who have worked in the service industry for a great deal of time, I wanted to ask, what say you?
I'm sort of torn because I think it's great, but you have to have that. You have to have all the information. So
the service might have been really shitty.
Yeah, working in this now. I'm not saying. So there's only been one time that I've ever tipped nothing. And that was because not only was the service really bad, when I tried to close out the check, I was like, I had to flag somebody down because we sat there, you know, we sat and ate for however much time. I didn't really pay attention. And then we were actively looking for the server for 15 minutes. And then had to flag down another server. The server went and grabbed him. And when she came out, she's like, oh, sorry, I heard you've been waiting forever. And I was like,
actually, like quotey fingers it at you?
Oh, just the
just the arm flail. Forever.
Yeah. And I was like, so our bill was like $49 and some change, and I had a $50 gift card, and I was like,
keep the change, you filthy animal.
I was like, that's the only time I've tipped poorly. That's the only time I've tipped nothing. Like there have been.
Would you support a tip wall of shame at an establishment that you manage?
Yes.
Interesting.
If I could get all the information, because it's like when everything's going crazy and you get, you know, you got 50 tabs coming across the bar or whatever, somebody might, you know, oh, I have a $50 tab, and then, you know, I draw a line through it and then throw, you know, 10, throw 20, throw whatever, you know, that might not show up on the credit tab. So that's the problem that I see with this picture, is that you don't know all that, because I can't imagine that there are that many people that on $100 and some tab will literally leave nothing. They exist. I've seen them. I've experienced it, but I don't think that happens very often. I think more often than not, it may have still been a bad tip, but it was probably cash. You know, I've seen plenty of bad tips that weren't my fault, but I've seen plenty of bad tips that were probably my fault. But it's you can't just assume with that little bit of information that that's what it is. So I question random people's ability to make that judgment.
So Toro, somebody puts you in charge of a bar or restaurant. Presumably this person has low intelligence and too much money, and they're just like, yeah, Toro, you run it. They put you in charge of the bar. Do you put the tip wall of shame up behind your bar?
I mean, I feel I would, just because like I know what a lot of my friends in this industry take home based on what, you know, the regular checks. They're just nothing else. But like I've seen people come back with $2 checks like every 2 weeks or something like that. And if they don't have that tip money, they're not making their bills that much. Like that's how it is. Like I know we're all struggling out there for we're all working our asses off, we're all doing our thing, but at the same time, don't be a complete and total dickhead. Don't go out expecting to spend $100-$200 on like a dinner for you and your girl, and then turn around and be like, oh hey, by the way, I don't have enough for the tip. Here you go. Here's $2 on a $200 tab. Like that's retarded. It makes zero sense to me. And I feel that if you're doing that kind of shit, you deserve to be called out for it. And it's just that maybe at that point, once you have accountability in that aspect, no one's going to want to serve you. Two, you're going to start fucking tipping well because you're going to be forced into it because no one's going to want to fucking work with
you. You know what it should have? It's like they tie it to your like your Instagram handle or something like that.
Like make a hashtag of your name. Yeah.
So anytime you don't tip, you're connected to the internet, and like the masses.
Make an LED board that way automatically goes to like a subreddit.
So I think that the thing that was most interesting to me, like I get what both of you are saying, kind of in both directions. The thing that was interesting to me, so I think I had 4 or 5 friends share this same image, and say, yeah, fuck yeah, mandatory in every bar, which I get, and I don't want to take that away from them, and I get that concept. What was interesting to me is in every one of those threads, some people showed up and inevitably said, isn't the problem with people not tipping, isn't that on the bar owner or the companies who own the bar for not paying their bartenders and waiters and waitresses a living wage? Like, isn't the problem our tipping culture and not these individuals who chose not to tip? Which is an argument I see all the time. The problem with that is that I don't actually like, people say that all the time. I believe it. I think the tipping culture is broken and fucking stupid. What I don't see is anybody like taking any action about it. Like, I don't see anybody like actually. The problem with that is if you have a problem with the tipping culture, the solution is don't go out to eat at places that pay their waiters, waitresses, and bartenders in tips. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just need to stop going to those places.
Well, that's what I always say. So you always have one dickhead that comes into the comments. And it's like, if you don't like it, get a different job. Well, fuck you.
That's the wrong, yeah.
No, that's not how it works.
That's the dickhead answer.
As the customer, if you don't like it, don't go out to eat.
Don't come. Yeah.
They have grocery stores. They have fast food. There are tons. You can get a full meal and everything at a place that doesn't require any sort of tipping.
Yeah, I got Taco Bell waiting for me in the car. It's great.
I hate you. So there
are taco shirt on.
There are options. I wore this for you.
I know.
District Taco.
Actually,
so why not? Why isn't the solution just place 18% on every tab? And although I guess in bartending that'd probably be a disadvantage, right? Like a lot of times you're making more than 18%.
That would absolutely, if
it's just a sit down restaurant, then I get where that makes
sense. For servers that would make sense. For bartenders, it does not.
Right.
If they got rid of tipping culture, I would not stay in the industry, because my ability to make a living in this industry is based on my personal ability to make more than that 20%.
And to be better at it than the guy working at the bar next door. Yeah. I get that.
And I'm not saying I'm some sort of like fucking bar ninja or anything. Like,
no, he's talking himself up right now.
God, don't get me wrong. I'm fucking awesome.
Bar ninja.
But what I'm saying is that I don't think tipping is mandatory. I fully agree that if somebody gives you really bad service and there's no other explanation other than they just didn't give a shit, which honestly, so at Nottingham's, there's a lot of turnover. So there's cocktail waitresses. There's probably been 200 cocktail waitresses since I've worked there for 2 years now.
No shit. You really think that number's even in the like right ballpark? Even if you said 100, I'd be like, holy
We
shit.
used to go there. Yeah, I mean that turnover.
It's
is
probably pretty close.
same
So
thing with Union Jacks. I mean,
bartenders were up in like the 40 range of where bartenders that have worked there since I've been there.
Okay, that number seems still high, but more reasonable. But I mean,
But you think, especially bartending, that's more of a like you're sort of locked in the industry a little bit more. Like you expect to stay for a while. Servers are known to have a lot of turnover. So I'm just saying, I'm talking everybody from the girl that comes in and trains and then you never see her again.
yeah,
to
sure.
The girl that's there for 6 months and then gets fired for being a useless twat. You just see a lot of that. So I have seen plenty of those people. I jumped to say girls because in that position, it's all cocktail waitresses. It's all women that have that position, but it's not because they're women that they say this stuff. So that's just what I want to clarify. So it's like they expect that 20%. Meanwhile, they're back in the back on their phones, not doing fucking any work. Like you still have to work for that money. If you want that 20%, you have to work for it. And that's the problem I have with the shame board.
Fucking millennials.
Yeah. Fucking youngins.
ruining everything.
No, but it's like they don't do any work. They just expect that, here, I'll take your order and then I'll give you your check and I make 20% of whatever that was. No, that's not how that works. There is so much more in the middle of there, server, bartender, anything that should be required, but isn't really. So on that same regard, like the tips should be similar. They don't have to tip you 20% if you didn't do 20% worth of work. I mean,
I agree with that.
I am. That's why it's so hard for me, because it's like I know that I've had bad days where it's like I don't do a good job, and then I'm mad at myself for it. I don't like to not do a good job. And then I see these people that are just okay with doing a subpar, if not entirely shitty job, and then expecting at least that 20%. And no, sorry, you didn't do a good job. You don't get good pay. The whole point of tipping is what's the acronym? It's like to ensure prompt service.
I just worked in the kitchen. I don't know what these fucking acronyms are.
Of course you do.
But no shame. Lido's, what's up?
We have a lot of Lido's people on this. I didn't know you worked at Lido's.
This was back when I was like 15 to like 17. I was only there for like 2-3 years. And I was still in high school.
You were only there for 2 or 3 years. You know how many people, I mean, I just said like 200 people have been through.
I'm just saying. It's just
2 or 3 years is an impressive time period.
God, I'm trying to hire people right now. And if I could find somebody who's had a job,
I mean, the entire kitchen staff was pretty much Spanish.
They'd be hired on the spot.
Yeah, like I remember I wanted to switch restaurant jobs at one point, and when I put in my application in another place, they saw that I'd been at my current place for 2 years, and you would have thought I sucked their dick at the fucking interview. Like, they're like, holy shit, you worked there for 2 years?
How do you survive?
Who are you? And then the best part is I left there after like 2 weeks. Because it was Fridays at Arundel Mills, and it was the fucking most garbage clientele that I've ever dealt with in the restaurant industry.
Here's Uncle Tristan's annual job hunting tip for millennials. If you only worked at a place for 2 months, don't put it on your fucking resume. Just pretend you worked at a place before that during that 2 months and put the end date there. Like, just start bunching jobs together and extending the amount of time you work there. Nobody fucking calls these places. Nobody checks. You're not going to work at NASA. Like, you're not going to work at a financial accounting firm. Like, if you're trying to get a fucking restaurant job, nobody gives a fuck. Just put like 2 jobs and that's it. And make sure, like, if they call the manager, like, maybe they know your name, but don't stop putting 46 jobs on your resume. It's not impressive.
That is very clear. So I mentioned that we've had like 40 some bartenders that have come through Notties in the 2 years I've been there, including one who apparently had years of experience, like over 5 years of experience. He came in to the job and a service bar ticket came up that said Corona Extra. And he was like, "What is this?" And I wasn't there when this happened, but immediately like 5 people came to me and were like, "Oh my God, did you fucking hear this?" It's like, Mikey needs to know about this. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And he stayed there for like 6 months.
I gotta figure out who this is. I don't know if they've worked with
You probably never met him.
That's funny as shit, though.
He was super nice. He tried hard, but he was
a dumbass.
He was not ready for like real bar life. So he had worked at the casino. So the casino here in Maryland at no, wait, where was he? He was at Live.
Yeah. So
all your basic stuff comes off the gun. So as far as I know,
they didn't serve any bottles there. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I think it's all your basics, like, I don't know, Jack and Coke, Cat and Coke, I don't know.
It's all pre-mixed in the back.
Pre-mixed.
Comes off the gun?
Yeah, which I have heard. I've never actually worked a place that did that.
Holy fucking shit, the future is amazing.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen that Keurig that makes like mixed drinks and shit now?
No.
Yeah,
I did not know that was a thing.
Awesome. You basically just pick the liquor you want and then have little like packets of like different shit you can put in. You can make your own cranberry juice, lemonade, whatever the fuck you want. Mixed with vodka. It's fucking great.
And every once in a while that shit pops up and people are like, "Oh, you're getting replaced." I was like, nobody's coming to me for my drinks. They're coming to me because I'm an asshole and I'll make fun of you and your friends will think it's funny.
It's like that restaurant in Baltimore that makes fun of you and just completely shits on you.
Oh, Dick's Last Resort?
There you go.
If I could just go to a bar where there was just a guy hanging out behind the counter who just like cleared off drinks and chit-chatted and took care of my check, but like there was a fucking robot that came out and poured my rum and Coke whenever I pushed a button on the bar, fuck yeah, sign me up. I'll fucking tip the guy behind the bar. I don't give a shit. That sounds amazing.
Like a cardboard box robot. You know, Awesomeo 4000.
Like
I want that fucking
Roomba? Like a bar.
What was that? Was that an RC Cola robot in Back to the Future 2 that just like fucking like spun around? It like poured the. Is a tab.
You're old.
Shut the fuck up.
I love you.
He's not wrong though. Tristan said it. Edmund.
To the future.
Yep. Cheers. Cheers.
You're not having a job, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. When I get replaced by the Barba.
Enjoy being replaced by the tab robot.
From the Back to the Future that nobody remembers.
How is life over at Nottingham's? Things going amazing there?
Oh, as always.
Wonders never cease.
We'll get. All right, so
anybody getting fucked out of the back of a car or going out Wicked Witch of the West style under the trees outside?
Oh yeah. So I have one story like that, and I have a couple quick ones that sort of tie into the tipping culture. I don't know. What would you like? Easy stories first, or
let's start with the big one and then we'll slide into the little ones at the end.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we had a guy that came in on a Wednesday night, which is our ladies' night and our karaoke. Come see me, bitches. So the
Come see the gun show on Wednesday nights at Nottingham's. He won't say it, but I will.
You get the tickets yet? Yeah. So this guy, they show up fairly late. So it's like, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 or something when they get there. And they're only there for maybe an hour or so. And they're just getting a little convoluted when they come up to the bar. It's like you can't quite tell what the hell he's asking. So we stop serving him. He goes up to do karaoke, and then he mic drops at the end of it.
Oh, I heard this story. Yeah.
So you're connected with the same group that does all the karaoke and everything.
I assume mic dropping is a big no at the end of karaoke.
Yeah,
those microphones are probably expensive.
How much is one of those like? So it's a wireless mic, right?
Well, I don't think it was a wireless mic that he was using at the time. But even though the wireless ones are the more expensive ones, I mean, one of those audio quality mics, I'd say probably run you at least $100, depending on the brand. A good one, if you're talking like really good, $250 easily on a good just one microphone.
All right, so let's say anywhere from $100 to $300 for your range, and he mic drops, and then Chris Tyler gets on. He's the DJ at the time, or the karaoke DJ. He gets on and calls the dude out. So I happen to hear it, and we're at sort of a lull behind the bar. So I come from around the bar, and I go up to Chris, and I was like, check the mic. Like, as long as that works, whatever. But, like, if it's broken, we'll fucking make him pay for it. Mm. And the bouncer had already gone over to him at this point now, and they were trying to kick him out. The guy spends, seriously, about 20 minutes arguing his tab, but he doesn't argue any specific point. He's not like, oh, I was charged too much, or I didn't order this or anything like that. He's just like, that's not right. I need an itemized, or I need a copy of the check. And
he
it's
just doesn't want to like pay his tab, like on general principle.
No fucking information.
This is before you're like, hey, you owe us $200 for a microphone kind of thing.
Yeah, the microphone was fine. Anyway, so that wasn't an issue. They were just kicking him out for being a belligerent jackass.
Yeah, just for reference, when you do that, you have the potential of not only moving the microphone, but also the speakers in the location that you're at. So that could potentially been a very, very expensive mistake.
Yeah. So the
no way, really? There's not like a gate between the microphone and the like super expensive speakers?
I mean, if they're going through a mixer, I mean, yeah, you can control it through the mixer, but if you don't see that coming, it's going to go through the sound system. Like, and the fact that, it hits the high end so quickly, it ends up actually damaging the actual speaker drivers and the tweeters in the actual speaker.
Today I learned.
I sold audio.
The more you know.
I was gonna. I've been practicing my Dead or Alive recently, and I was planning on ending the whole thing with a fucking mic drop. But I guess I'm gonna have to change that. I'm gonna have to do an alternate flourish of some kind.
Confetti.
So anyway, this guy
or firecrackers.
Glitter bomb.
So Dixon bomb. The guy argues for like 20 minutes about it. And his friends are trying to grab him, and we're like, look, everything you ordered is right there on your tab. Here it is. You need to pay it. And eventually, his friends trying to like argue with him to get him out, he starts fighting with his friends. Now the bouncer comes from behind and grabs the guy and starts dragging him out. And then his friends start pushing him out. I've come from around the bar, and I start following him out. They get outside. Some of our regulars who have watched the whole thing are like losing their mind. They're like, oh, you want to fucking go? I was like, get the fuck back inside. Like, this isn't fucking work. So what I didn't realize is the whole time it's like while they're outside, he continues to try to get back inside, arguing with his friends. Eventually, he swings on his friend swings on him and knocks him out.
Holy shit.
So within 10 feet of the door, this guy has been knocked unconscious. He then gets up, gathers his senses, and then goes at his friends again.
Holy shit.
So at one point, a girl comes in from outside and is like, "Are you guys going to help that guy out there? I think they're going to kill him." We're like,
Was it a white girl?
We're like, what? Directly to me. So apparently they had him pinned to the ground where it was like the guy friend was on top of him, like UFC mount style, and then two women were on either arm, and then another guy was laying across his legs.
So basically, they were holding him down like Steve Irwin held down alligators. Is what
yeah, saying. And then
minus the whole blinding with a blanket first.
That would have been entertaining. He's like, where y'all go?
I want to sneak up behind and stick my finger in its butthole. Oh, it's really pissed off now.
I have no idea what that reference is, but I don't want to know.
He's South Park, bro.
I assumed. So
I'm just imagining that poor guy like, Michael, they're beating a man to death outside. Please help.
I'm just thinking this guy is like crucifixed out with like multiple people holding him down. So that's not where the story ends. Apparently, they let him up eventually, and then he proceeds out to the parking lot, swings on the friend again. The friend loses his mind, knocks him out again, mounts him, and then proceeds to pummel his face into the pavement.
Holy shit.
And then they all get in the cab together and leave.
Wow.
So there you go.
Oh, man.
Was he a reasonably sized to large guy?
Yeah, he was probably he was a taller guy. Think like a slightly heavier Snoop Dogg. Like he was probably like 6'4", maybe 200.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So see, I can see in an unfortunate set of circumstances.
What? Snoop Dogg's probably like 120 pounds or something.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the size and weight. I can see a circumstance in which probably on your birthday, something goes badly and you get angry and you turn on a group of us. And then
I would be terrified. I might shit myself if that happened.
Right. Yeah. Toro is just off up Main Street at the fastest speed he's ever ran in his adult life.
Pissed off Mikey.
He's just fucking gone. But like
generally speaking, I'm aggressive to people I don't know.
No. Follow me here. I'm not saying that I think this would happen. I'm saying imagine if Mikey got pissed about something and he's 40 or 50 drinks deep or whatever it is you do by 10 p.m. on your birthday every year. And you're pissed off at everyone. And all of a sudden you turn on us, right? And I imagine it's me and several other guys. And
a lion, you know.
Turn on us. And because of the alcohol, you're kind of like tranquilized by a lion, right? Like everything's slow motion. And one of us manages to just hang one on you, right? Just tap you in the button and you go down. And we're like, whew, thank God we got Mikey down. Okay, let's get him back up. But then we get you back up and you're still fucking furious. And now you start swinging again. And now we have to take you down again. And then we're worried that if we let you back up again, that you'll murder Dixon or, somebody else or, Toro because he's managed to sneak back in.
He's still running. He's been
And
like
then,
20
and
feet
then
away.
because I have drank a fraction of what you have drank during the evening, have decided that the only way to make sure you don't murder somebody is to go full mount on you and just punch you in the face 8 or 9 times until you're no longer able. And then we managed to get you up and put you into a cab. So I see a scenario where that might make sense. I hope to God it never happens.
I
Yeah, it's like that shit was madness.
That's my nightmare. Mikey
I
drinks.
feel there's always a justification to knock out your like one of your good friends if they're being fucking stupid. You know, it's just like that's why you're friends. The amount of times me and Dixon have gotten into it on Facebook, people always assume that we're gonna fight and we're just gonna fucking beat each other up.
So many times people have asked like if Dixon and I are friends or if you and Dixon are friends. They're like, do you even like each other?
Yeah.
I have asked Mikey.
I'll be upfront with you. I don't like Dixon.
I have asked Mikey literally 3 out of the last 4 weeks that we've done this podcast whether you and Dixon are actually fighting.
It's always something.
Nobody actually likes Dixon. Dixon doesn't like Dixon. That's why he treats his body like a cesspool.
Jesus.
Like one of those temples in Indonesia with the monkeys.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
No, it's Indonesia. It's Indian.
I assume we're running not out of time, but we're getting to where we want to be. But there was one other thing that I wanted to mention. We were going back and forth in text earlier, and there was something you put in the things you wanted to discuss that I had never heard of that I wanted to mention. Was what is the coffin challenge? Because it sounds horrifying.
Oh, at Six Flags?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking cool. It's you basically spend like 30 hours in a coffin, and you get $200. The last one just standing essentially gets like Fright Fest tickets for like a couple more years or some shit. That's the prize. Then $300 for being there. Like,
wait, start again. So a bunch of people get into coffins?
Yes. Like the winner, basically the last one in the coffin for those 30 hours or whatever amount of time. Apparently you can still get out for bathroom breaks, which is retarded. I mean, like,
no, I get that because that lady died holding her piss for a Nintendo Wii a few years ago. I get it.
But yeah, basically they let you out. But the thing is, you have to survive, or not survive, but be in your coffin throughout the whole night because apparently they clear out all the people that work there during the nighttime. So you're by yourself.
So you're just in there in a coffin that's closed?
The closed coffin, yes.
Overnight.
I don't give a fuck. I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old. I will take that 30 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a coffin. Oh, I get it. You think
you can bring pillows, you can bring blankets to stay warm. Like it's not like it's, it's like one of those little hotels in Japan. You just fucking slide in there and just stay there for the whole day.
Yeah, that's like living in New York.
The broom closet that you're paying $1,500 a month for.
Shit, man. I would do that for like nothing.
And the winner gets the option of keeping the coffin.
Okay. Ooh.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds awesome. I would do that for the coffin. I don't give a shit. No part of me wants to ever go to Six Flags ever.
Do you think you'd have a hard time like laying down for 20 hours?
No. Not at all.
I think like my back.
I want to be straight with you. I've done that before. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Toro does that a couple times a week.
I do.
Yeah.
On the weekends, I'm not working. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
I have no problems with that.
That sounds horrifying.
I want to look into it.
Closed, right? The coffin's closed?
Yep.
I assume. I don't give a shit.
Total darkness for 30 hours.
Tristan, we were in Boy Scouts. We slept in some dumb shit. Like,
yeah, but it wasn't like fucking closed around me like I don't know, a coffin.
No, that's some crap. I'm 6'3". I slept in a quote unquote 2-person tent with my dad, who is also 6'3" and also like 250 pounds.
That's true.
Yeah, I might as well. It was like
basically a coffin.
So who was the big spoon? Who was the little spoon?
I was basically in a coffin that snored.
With somebody else. You're in a 2-man coffin. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if they changed the challenge and that's what it said, I'd be like, ooh, I don't know.
30 hours in a 2-man tent with your dad. You're like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah,
That's not farting here. Swear to God.
that's way too many dad jokes. I don't need all that.
I heard the best dad joke of all time the other day, by the way.
All right.
What did the DJ name his newborn son?
I don't think I even want to know.
Eric.
God
Go fuck yourself, Toro. Go fuck yourself.
God damn it. That's really
That's
good.
funny as shit, man.
That was funny. I get it. One more thing I wanted to hit before we get to our would you rather for the evening, because I wanted to talk this over with Toro. It was announced in the last couple of days that Xbox One will begin supporting keyboard and mouse beginning soon. They're partnering with that one company that does all the keyboards and mice to make their own RGB compatible keyboards and mice. But more importantly, games like Battlefield, Call of Duty, and the like will allow people to use a keyboard and a mouse against people who are using a standard controller. What say you?
Ooh, that's not even fair. You say that because you don't play on PC.
I have played on PC.
That's a different world.
This was like fucking 15 years ago. But
that's a different world.
Oh, so I'm sorry. I didn't hear your initial answer, Toro. You said you don't give a fuck?
I mean, I believe there's going to be something in place. I did hear about that rumor when I was listening about all the Battlefield 5 news and whatnot. But from what I understand is that there's going to be something in place that determines whether they go into a specific controller lobby or a keyboard and mouse lobby.
I think they absolutely have to do that.
I think that's what the people who are big on Call of Duty and Battlefield hope is happening, but I've seen nothing from Xbox that says that's what they're doing.
I mean, that's what I've heard from the developers. That's not something an Xbox thing. It's the developers of those games that are going to be able to determine what they're using for that, which is how they determine how they find cheaters and whatnot and things like that. I mean, they know what's going on.
They're blurring the lines between Xbox and PC.
Yes.
So there should be enough people playing on PC that are using controllers. Like you could balance that out, maybe. But I mean, if you have the option to play mouse and keyboard for a first-person shooter and you don't, you're a fucking idiot.
Or you play on a couch. I mean,
I play on my bed.
I mean, that's the thing. Like I play, like my Xbox is in the other room. Like it's on a couch. Like I don't want to fucking put a keyboard on my lap. That sounds fucking awful. Like, I mean, I don't play a lot of online shooters anyway, but I don't want to be bothered with that. There's a reason why I use a controller in there. The fucking wireless controller is one of the greatest advents in video game history.
True. Although, have you seen my gaming chair?
Your gaming chair is pretty rad. It's fucking amazing. And I do wish I could spend more time PC gaming. I guess that's the problem. I guess I have yet to find the intersection between comfort and PC gaming. Like it just.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're looking at the extent of my PC usage right now. This is although I've spent a shit ton of time doing Monster Hunter on Xbox lately, so there that is.
Man, I downloaded Red Dead Redemption the other day. I was really hoping that'd be awesome. That game sucks a bunch of dicks.
What, the old one?
It's a Western version of GTA wannabe.
Oh, yeah. It was like a 3D Western GTA 2.
The controls are bad. The fucking.
I heard the new one is apparently really good. It's getting really good reviews.
I'm not saying the new one's not going to be great. I'm sure that the new one's just going to be a Western version of GTA 5, right? I mean, like.
Yeah, the world is massive from what I understand.
Fucking rocket horses.
Oh, yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
I don't know how they're going to keep that entertaining. How do you
got to get that game called Pummel Party?
How many fucking weapons are in the Old West? How many fucking vehicles are in the Old West? How is this going to work? I've seen nothing to say like how this is going to work.
I just hate the fact you have to ride your horse everywhere, like legit, and it just takes forever to get to certain locations.
No, there's. I mean, it's fast travel, just like anything.
And once you get there,
but I mean, you
fast travel to all places around the map. You got to find.
You can't fast travel online.
You're the most impatient motherfucker
I mean, tell that. I mean, yeah, I spent $600 on fucking GTA over the course of the lifespan.
Jesus Christ.
That's conservative.
Yeah.
And for someone that's that into games, that it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, we got
No,
You know,
no,
you and
I'm saying you're lying. That's what I'm saying.
Let's get you and
said
Evan back on so we can get an update on the spending
Oh,
scale.
I own a club now. I own a nightclub in the game. So
Oh yeah, we set that up. I went to his GTA club and was doing my sweet dance moves that the
sounds
game
awesome.
allows.
I'm not gonna lie, there
They look just like this.
I got ripped, and I played that game, and I stayed in the club for literally like 2.5 hours. I did nothing else.
It's fucking garbage. You can't do anything.
It was so bad.
All right.
I think it's about that time. All right. Would you rather fall through the toilet hole in an outhouse or be temporarily trapped beneath a pile of dead animals?
How were those animals killed?
Say again?
Like how
do those animals?
I don't know. They've hit with a car.
Roadkill.
Are they like bleeding and fucking? Okay, yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, did they like die natural deaths of old age? Then I'll take covered in dead animals. But like, if they were all run over by cars, that sounds fucking horrendous.
I would fuck it. I would rather do that than fucking be covered in feces. Sorry. Stuff that's been there for, especially if it hasn't been cleaned in a while.
I don't care if I had to kill that animal with my fucking teeth. I would rather lay underneath that than
100%
fall through the toilet hole in an outhouse.
Yeah,
that's so fucking gross. It's disgusting.
Oh, God. And the place that the ones that have like the in-ground ones that there's like a hole dug in the ground and they don't
like
clean them out. It's literally like
latrine?
A liquid down there. It's no, thank you. It's just fuck that.
I'm under those animals.
I think we're all on the same page here.
Yeah. All right. Would you rather have everyone think your spouse is an idiot and a jerk, or that he or she is just really, really ugly?
Ooh, interesting.
You get a jerk. Yep.
Did you say they think?
I don't know. I assume it's got to be that they are, right? Or wait, you think they think that they're an idiot and a jerk, or that they think that they are really, really ugly? So I guess it's all speculative.
It's a weird.
We all have different levels of what we find attractive. I still think I'd rather have them think that they're stupid and a jerk.
So we've done this before at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
But I don't know. That's tough for me.
I'd rather have my friends. I'd rather have my friends like my wife and her be ugly than.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I want to change my.
Than her be hot and everybody hates her. That sounds fucking terrible.
There's nothing.
The thing is, if everyone thinks that she's hot, they're gonna try to sleep with her. It's a higher probability of me getting angry and trying to fight somebody.
Hashtag DJ problems.
You already knew the stories that I fucking had. Bro.
Next time on Last Call Podcast.
Yeah, because all my friends.
MexiMinute.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ugly.
Yeah, I want to go ugly too.
Yeah, ugly. All right, Tristan, I remember this. This is one of your favorites. Would you rather drink a glass of pus?
Oh, fuck.
Or eat a 1-inch thick scab sandwich?
Double fuck.
Oh, God. My stomach just like went.
That's the fucking Taco Bell, you piece of shit. That has nothing to do with the scab sandwich.
I haven't had JMO in fucking forever.
That both of those options are.
Now, are you allowed to put condiments on the sandwich?
I was just
motherfucking
wondering the
horrendous.
same thing. I would say
Drench
no.
it in mayo.
Yeah. What's the fucking condiment you're gonna put on an inch of scabs that's gonna make it better? We're fucking
Ketchup.
dip it in barbecue sauce.
Mustard, mayo.
You put ketchup
Lettuce, tomato.
on anything, it tastes like ketchup.
Yeah.
If I
That'll
could
work
put
on the
bacon
first
on it, make it
bite.
a BLT. Boom.
How about the 13 bites after that, where you're like, "Oh, I'm eating an inch of scabs covered in."
And you thinking
Using
the
ketchup.
fucking pus is a better option?
Oh man. Well, I usually pick like the chugging ones because I'm like I can
It's
chug
over
that.
quick. Yeah.
But I'm like, plus
Have you ever popped a pimple and seen what fucking comes out of it? It's
But you gotta chew
no,
that.
go
sandwich.
on.
No, fuck that.
You gotta chew that sandwich like it's a fucking like that'll take you forever. And every bite you're gonna be like,
You want
scabs.
to know the
Scabs.
disgusting food I put in my body?
That's what I'm saying. A scab sandwich is pretty much like Arby's. And I'm not
Arby's-
totally against
Arby's is
Arby's.
delicious.
Put some
How
Dijon
fucking
mustard
dare
on it,
you?
good.
Give me some horsey sauce. I'm good.
Can I get a side of curly fries, please?
It's a pint of pus.
Is a pint or
what did it
glass?
say? A glass. I don't.
Glass, so we're talking like a
I'm gonna go
glass.
a pint glass.
All right. What do we say? Let's say
16 ounces.
20 ounces.
Oh,
no, a pint. That's a nice 16 ounces. That's a nice. And let's say, what do you think? A Subway 6-inch of scab sandwich.
it says 1 inch, right? No, it's white bread, right?
No, 1 inch thick scab sandwich. The scab.
The
is
scab
1
alone
inch.
is an inch thick.
That's what I mean. It's a fucking inch of scab sandwiched between 2 pieces of white bread. That is a lot of fucking scab. First of all, where are you guys getting all this scab?
That's a lot of scab.
That's a lot of anything. That's a lot of bacon. Like if you put 1 inch of bacon in between 2 pieces of white bread,
Bacon.
I think I think that would be. I think you'd have a hard time with that. Let alone if it's human fucking scab.
Do you have the option of cooking said scabs?
Oh, that makes it better. Shut your fucking mouth.
Adobo.
It's deep fried. It's deep fried.
Little
Scab.
adobo on everything. God damn it.
You're the only Mexican done like hot sauce.
Can I go suicide question? Can I just like
Where'd you get the fucking?
pull the trigger
Light gun.
out of my old school Nintendo box?
Oh, that's right. You said you found it.
I did, and it worked.
I'm gonna
And it
go
worked for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then it died. I'm gonna say, that's all I'm gonna say. No, I'm just kidding. I'll say, drink a glass of pus.
Yeah, I have to. I think I can get myself into a mental space where I can at least get that down the hatch.
Yeah, I feel like that has to be the fastest.
You can't speed through a pound of scabs.
Watch me.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, watch me. I'll take the sandwich. As long as there's condiments available. If not, then I might do the
Arby's horsey sauce.
That's the limiting factor.
That's
It
different.
If you could put ketchup on your scab sandwich, you're in. Otherwise, okay.
Yeah, I
Who,
mean,
who am I to judge?
condiment. You're not really gonna taste much else.
Mike Stewart, if you put what was it, the Chick-fil-A sauce on there, he'd fucking eat that sandwich.
That actually sounds pretty good. Chick-fil-A sauce is delicious.
I've gotten
Would
tired of it.
you rather fall in love with someone who has done hard time in prison for a triple murder, or with someone who is a member of a bizarre religious cult?
Murder.
Murder.
Zero hesitation there.
I
Fuck that
absolutely
whole-
understand murder. Murder
I
makes so much sense to me.
I watched
A religious
video-
cult makes no sense
You
to
might
me.
want to blot that out for a future reference in case anything does happen.
I watched a
Allegedly.
video the other day of, I guess it's like a tradition in the South for a particular sect of Baptist preachers they preach with rattlesnakes, and they do this thing. These like tent revival guys, right? And they like dance around, and they're like, "The Lord will protect me from this rattlesnake," and they're like shaking around and shit like that. And like it works most of the time. I don't really know why. Like a lot of times they milk the snakes beforehand. And this video was of this preacher. He's in his 30s. I think he's about our age.
Yeah.
And he's dancing with this fucking rattlesnake. And then all of a sudden the rattlesnake like fucking just strikes him in the side of the head. And I guess it caught like an artery that's over here. And he started bleeding all over his fucking arm. And at one point, the camera changes focus, and it looks at this woman who's sitting in the back row, and her eyes are wide, and she is clearly fucking over this shit. And it turns out it's the guy's wife, and she had met him years ago, and they had fallen in love before he realized that he was super into this crazy snake church. And so she wasn't into the religion at all. The twist of the story is the guy's father had died 3 or 4 years earlier when a snake had bit him on the fucking hand. He was dead in 10 minutes. They think he was dead in like 7 to 8 minutes.
Fan fucking tastic. Fuck that guy. Fuck your whole family line. I don't give a shit about you.
There's a whole group of these preachers who fucking die doing this shit. But anyway, that reminds me of this question, because this woman like met, dated, fell in love with this guy without ever having brought up, oh yeah, my family's these like crazy fucking religious people who dance around with fucking snakes at tent revivals.
All right. I love my wife. If she came out tomorrow and said, I'm thinking of preaching at this snake church, I'd be like, you can go fuck yourself. Would you rather?
We're gonna have to keep snakes at the house.
Would you rather in a guest bathroom with no toilet paper use a hand towel or an old newspaper to wipe your behind?
What?
Newspaper.
Hand towel, man.
Wash it.
I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to get clean. I don't fuck their bathroom.
Like I don't know. Like, can I just throw away? Can I?
I'll buy him a new towel.
I don't understand the problem with either of these. Thank God I have access to these options if I'm out of toilet paper. Like,
here, kitty.
No,
I'll go down and be like, hey, I fucked up one of your. I fucked up one of your hand towels.
First,
like,
your underwear or your socks?
Send me a bill.
Send me a bill.
I hope it wasn't like a $700 hand towel. That's really gonna bum me out. But like, if it's that or like,
count.
I'm saying hand towel. That'd be so much softer.
Yeah, it's plushy.
Wipe out of it, though.
How much shit do you have? How small is this hand towel?
I hope they have a.
Doesn't say.
I hope they have
like a tiny one, like this big. Is that enough?
That's a washcloth. That's not a hand towel.
Like if you have explosive diarrhea, that is not enough.
You give me a washcloth. That's enough.
Really?
What the fuck are you guys doing in the bathroom?
Oh, I mean, I'm with him. Like I've had days where like I'm concerned a roll's not enough. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When will it come away clean? You only have that hand towel. You just let that shit go for like 45 minutes. You're like, now is the time. And then you wipe. And then you fold. And you wipe again.
I'll use a fucking bath mat. Fuck them.
Yeah. It's like, where's a toddler? I'll take that.
Toss a stuffed animal in here.
That works like that. On that note, that is it for Would You Rather.
Thank God.
Yeah, it never gets easier.
No.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in each week. Thank you to Toro for stopping in locally. Thank you to Tristan, as always, for tuning in from the great state of Ohio.
Thank you for making me think about chewing on scabs and drinking pus again. Glad we decided to go through the box again, Mikey. Great fucking idea.
Here we fucking go. Now you want to see me try to throw this card and then waddle my way over to
It's
the.
me in
Hit
the
the
eyes.
camera, then
It's me.
sprint towards the exit button.
It's like so. We'll see y'all next time on the next last call.
Peace.
Oh, no good. Here we
Run,
go.
Mikey, run!
I'm doing
Run,
it.
you stupid bastard!